Hi. So, sounds like everything's working in theory. Okay. I have most of my things out here. However, I'm struggling to find a ruler. So, sorry. I know I've got one around here. Broken one at least. Unless I've got... Where's my stuff? Do I have it in here? I don't think I do. When I think I'm prepared and then I'm not. I don't know where the hell those could have gone. So anyway, today I thought I'd hop on here and work on setting up my planner. I know a lot of people have different strategies for keeping their, planner stuff organized, and different types of planners, and stationery and digital versus paper. And I'm definitely a pen and paper kind of a person. So I thought I'd share my setup since it's June, and if you don't pay attention to the quarters, it is coming to the end of Q2. We're starting Q3, so I need to start a new notebook, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to share how I do things. But of course, I forgot my ruler, so bear with me one second. You can come with me audio-wise, but you hoping now how long that lasts. All right. Whee! All right, I'm back. Hopefully I didn't lose connection with my microphone that whole time. Ruler. All right, so I made some changes. How do I, where are we? I've got music playing in the background now, so it won't be quite as dull, but bear with me while I get that adjusted. Okay, let's just see if that's too loud or if I need to change it up. Hydrate while we wait. Okay, it doesn't sound too bad. Let me know if you feel otherwise. So I think I usually use a thick boy for my lines, but I don't like the one I usually use. I'm gonna switch. Okay, so I like Microns, I believe is the brand. Micron. I do the I do the 01 for my fine lines, and then I do usually 08 for my thick lines, but I think I'm gonna do 06 because the 08 is annoying to work with. So this is my new notebook. So I get these from Printful. I print them with my custom design. So the current one I have is the artist logo that I made in Canva. So that's what this one looks like. And then I add a little braided ribbon, can't think of the word, just to keep me in check of like where I am. So that's my placeholder, and I just tie it onto the end so that way I don't lose it. And I'm not going to show you the whole thing. I blocked out some stuff because you don't need to know my business. But generally I can fit 6 months in a single notebook. I don't remember how many pages these are. I think it's 140 or 160. And yeah, so I do month tabs, so JFM, a blah, 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 blah. And I dropped my ruler. Apparently I just hate my ruler today. Okay. But yeah, I do a month spread. So I can kind of look at the month overview if I have any like major appointments or dates or things, like our 9-year anniversary is coming up this month. I kind of have that there. Obviously I also have these things in like digital format too, but it's also good to see it visual format. Do things in multiple places. And then my next page, so that way when I open up my tab to June, if I have any random thoughts that come to me and I just need to jot them down, I have this kind of designated space where I write them down. Here I was kind of drafting out a podcast episode and calculating some things and taking some measurements of something outside. So it was kind of a mishmash of whatever the hell kind of came up. And yeah, so if I can kind of recall, you know, for example, if I'm in 3 months from now, I'm like, what the hell were the measurements that I was measuring? I'm like, I think that was summertime. Maybe it was in May, maybe it was June, somewhere around there. I can go back to my nonsense. Or if I have ideas, I'm like, let me go back to my nonsense pages and then I can just dig through that. So it might be something that I need to remember. It might be taking notes on a phone call. I just needed kind of like a catch-all space in my planner in order to catch all that stuff. And then, oops, lo siento. Next page is goals. So I'll cover like financial goals, business goals, personal goals, home goals. And that's kind of how I've been formatting it for the last 6 months. I don't know if I've been breaking it down like this, but recently that's kind of how it's been. So I have kind of my top 3 that I want to hit for the month. I usually don't. But, you know, just to write them down and kind of have some trajectory. And then over here I have my tracker of like different habits. So medications, vitamins, physical activity, meditation, tracking my period, my weight, that sort of thing. My whether I created something, if I read, if I did something social, and making sure I get outside and get fresh air. So just little habit trackers that I created. I set a little goal and then I check the results at the end. Not the greatest at keeping up with it, and honestly this is my most tedious page to make, and I struggle the most with keeping up with it. So I don't know how much longer I want to keep doing this, or if I can think of a more effective way, because, you know, my intention was to be a little bit better with habit tracking and implementation of certain things, but I don't know that this is the best way for me, so I might scrap it after this planner. I'm gonna keep doing it for now, but I gotta think on that. And then let's see, next, so since June is halfway through, I have a mid-month check-in. Oh, I forgot to write month. What the hell? Fix it. I usually do. Mid-month check-in. That's how I usually write it. I guess I need to angle you guys a different way because I'm not left-handed. Imagine. My husband's left-handed. I can't. But yeah, I check in, kind of see if I'm making progress on my goals, check in about my finances, how I'm doing. And weekly, I have this format. So I kind of make a list of my goals. Usually it's like, you know, financial goals or house goals, or, you know, like home projects. Like for example, I've been working on the garden a lot. So like, what do I want to get planted, transplanted, whatever it might be. Sorry, I just wanted to check and make sure the audio was still good. Yeah, whatever my weekly goals might be. And then at the end of the week, I come back and I'll do like a couple bullet points of reflection. So like, what were the highlights, like something that came up or I got accomplished, kind of reflecting on that. And then this prompts me to kind of go back to my long-term goals, like way back in the beginning of the year. How did I move closer to the long-term goals in this short period of time? And it might be something as simple as like, what did I do? I don't know. I can't think of something. Hang on. Let me look off camera. What's an example? Oh yeah, working on like marketing, or this one particular week, when I did the last live stream, I said I dusted off my live streaming skills, because one of my goals was to, you know, start live streaming more, or like working on the podcast and that kind of a thing. So yeah, things like that. Am I moving incrementally towards my long-term goals? And then 1 to 3 positive or impactful moments. So sometimes it's like patient interactions that were really pleasant, or you know, we went out somewhere and it was fun. I don't know. And then any challenges. So reflecting on what kind of came up and I needed to kind of cope with, deal with, whatever. If I learned anything new, I don't know. So I don't know. Weekly reflections, kind of helpful. And then this is how my week spread usually has been. And I've adapted this over time. So I found that I didn't need full columns, the full page. For my days. So these green lines are when I have appointments, and then I kind of track the number of billable units at the bottom, just so I can kind of keep track of my, you know, finances and everything's getting billed properly. And then I'll put in like, if I'm doing a task in between, and then what I need to do in the afternoon. And then I found during the week, I kind of need another catch-all to-do list. So I'll do bulleted list down at the bottom here. Something that comes up like submitting a claim to CAT insurance, or paying quarterly taxes, or writing a letter, or, you know, whatever comes up, random to-do lists. I dump them down here, I number them, and then I'll insert them when I have time up here. Or they get rolled over to the next week. So that's my week spread. And then I have another week spread. So just to kind of show you the format, so you'll see the arrow goes this way. So it's pointing to this week. And then I go to this week, and the next page points to that week. So these are the goals, reflections for this week. And I also show the, you know, I write the dates up here. And so this page points to this week. And this is the beginning of July. So I kept it in this notebook just because I had space. But normally if I had this much of the next month, I'd put it in the next month's calendar. And then at the end of the month, I do monthly reflections, very similar to the mid-month check-in. So I'll see how my finances went for the month, main events and accomplishments. So I'll like bullet list out, and I'll just go through my weekly bulleted lists and take highlights from those. Not all of them, just, you know, the most significant for the month, and I'll list them out here. And then since it's the end of the quarter, I'll do kind of a quarterly reflection and kind of, again, look back at my yearly goals and be like, did I get anywhere this quarter? What do I need to do in the next quarter, and doing that. So that's generally my format. And so again, we're in June, it's almost halfway through June, and I know June's gonna be over super fast. So I need to make my next notebook, and that's what I'm doing here. So I carried over my 2025 goals, and I covered them because, again, you don't need to know my business. But yeah, I'm starting with that, and I wrote continued, adapted, new, because sometimes goals change, or I want to adapt what the goal was and pivot it a little bit, that kind of a thing. Writing my Q3 goals. So I'm changing this notebook a little bit. I think I had Q1 and Q2 goals in my other notebook, but I wanted to have a full quarter spread just so I can have more of a visual idea of the whole quarter. If there's any main things, or when I want to have things accomplished by, that kind of a thing. So I kind of sketched this out in pencil, and then this is where my month spread will be. I kind of just sketched out some lines. And then July nonsense, this is my nonsense page. July goals will go here. My tracker will go here. And then we get into the week spreads. So with that in mind, I don't have much more talking other than what I already explained. So I'm just gonna do this, and I'm gonna turn up the music, and you can chill, hang, whatever. If you have anything, feel free to comment, but otherwise, just hang out. Did I lose my ruler already? There you are. Can you see what I'm doing? Do you care? I mean, if you're watching this, obviously you care enough to watch this, but I just want to make sure. I don't know. You can see it. It's fine. This is fine. Also, I almost forgot I was live because I filmed a couple podcast episodes, and obviously I know that I can edit those. I can't edit this, so don't say anything stupid. Too late. And I do realize this is an extremely time-consuming thing and not for everyone. But if you are a paper and pen, bullet journaler, spread maker, I don't know how to describe you, but if this is your thing, I'd be interested to know if this is a format you would use. Trying to figure out if this angle is right, or not right, but like if it's helpful, or if I should move you over here. Just move you. Doot doot doot. Field trip. Is that any better? But then you're on my side of my hand, and then I'm gonna bump you more. I need one of those overhead dealy-doos. Alas, I do not have a dealy-doo. Good descriptive thing there. I am intelligent. So much for not saying anything stupid. I don't like this. So I want you to be upside down. Do you want to be upside down? Can I flip it? Or do you want me to just do it? We're having fun. That's better. I mean, what do you want from me? Hang on. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. For now, you're gonna have to be upside down, and maybe next time I can figure out how to flip it. I was rotating the actual phone earlier, but then it just auto rotated it. So we'll cope. What are you gonna do? Struggle busing here. Okay. That's not really what I want. All right. Sorry. Clicking. Let me try this. Okay. Okay. And I did write out in pencil the weeks of the quarter and then the weeks of the month on this side. But I don't know if I really need that. I'll just leave them there in pencil. Everything's shaking. Sorry. Do I have, it's leaving weird marks. I'm like, is that from me or is that from something else? I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so it's the quarter laid out. I kind of want to put the month somewhere, but if I put it on this side, then I can't have those numbers. How do I want to do this? I guess what I could do, though I don't have a white pen that I can think of. Maybe I can, I have white pencil. Trying to think what I got. I might have a metallic marker, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put like a little, whatever. Little blip there, and then I'll go over in some like metallic that'll say July, and then over here it'll say August. And then I guess here I'll put, where do I want to put that though? All right, September. It looks a little weird. I don't know. I'll figure out something better next time, but that's what we got. Okay. So again, the quarter. July, August, September, and now we're moving on. So now I gotta do my month spread. Pew! And keep my June open so I can look at her. Sorry. I'm trying to do this so you can see, but you can't see both. It's the way it is. All right. So doing a thicker marker along the top, and then skinny for the labels. Oh, and I like using dotted grid because it just makes it so much easier to, you know, do all of these. Basically, I think of them as like cells, like in a spreadsheet. If it was lined paper, it would be a little bit more challenging to get everything lined up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Six. Make Sunday smaller. I got less going on. Oh, and then the other thing. So Sunday and Monday. So July starts on a Tuesday. So I need the line here. Wait. Okay, Tuesday goes all the way down. And then I put that line there. That's annoying. Why did I do that? Oh well. Imperfection. And Friday, Saturday. Don't go all the way down. And 1, 2, 3, 4 is the first. Okay. Okay, starts on Tuesday, right? Ends on Thursday. Okay. say the main downside to these notebooks is just the bleed through, but they're the right size and they're good enough for me. But if I had one complaint, it would probably be that. All right, next page, nonsense. Next, we got goals. Okay. Again, the tracker sheet takes the most time, so I'm not really going to spend time on that right now, mostly because I want to get the more important stuff mapped out. But I'll just do I usually just do the top just so I know what this page is. Into the weekly spreads. How did I start this out? I forget now. Okay, so if I'm starting on a full week, okay, that's gonna throw things off a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I start with my mid-month check-in, I feel like, is gonna be okay. No, that'll be fine. Well, yeah. Indecision. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll do it live. What am I doing? Okay. Again, what am I doing here? So we had a heat wave the last few days, and today's actually a little bit cooler, but it's definitely hotter in the garage, so. My brain is mush. Okay. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh yeah, and I guess I didn't really explain this split, but basically this top portion, let me show you on this one. This top portion is like the morning, this is the afternoon, and then this is the evening. And I used to do, again, like full page, but I found that I didn't need all that space for either section, and then especially for evening, I just didn't have as many things going on. Usually it's like one big thing or a couple things. I don't have like a whole to-do list. So that's why I shrunk that section down and then added the section at the bottom so I can do that nonsense, what do you call it? Ongoing like to-do list. So I tried listening to this music ahead of time. This song sounds... I don't remember this one now. Like, where is this going? I was laughing because I felt the need to flip over my notebook and make sure I'm writing down the right days, as though I don't know the days of the week, but mostly because I would keep glancing up at it and I didn't want to accidentally write Monday where Thursday went. So just laughing at myself. I'm being watched, so therefore I get stupid. Okay, so again, the end of this ended on July 6th, and I just want to double check. Monday starts on the 7th, so we're starting on the 7th. Beautiful. Okay, next page, we got our goals for the week. What, 13? Yes, 13. Sorry. Oh, the struggle. Yeah, I don't know, it feels like this particular brand of marker is bleeding through a lot more than normal. This is just SPC, whatever. They look like unprinted microns. And yeah, I don't know if they just have like more liquidy ink and it's just soaking through more, but this, I don't usually get this much bleed through. Like this is normally what the page looks like. Definitely not as much. I don't know. So maybe these pens aren't the best for this. Alright, we do 4 goals. Either that or I'm just holding the pen down too long. Nah. Still bleeding through. Okay. I might not use these after this for this particular paper. copy that over to this side. Oops. That's what I get for following my pencil lines. Okay. I'm gonna go back to, where was I? I guess all the way to here. So I wanted my ink to be dry before I started erasing. Also, I'm gonna use something else because I think that was leaving marks. Ooh, let's use one of these. And Okay, let's do one more week spread. Oh, I guess, oh shit. I done miffed it. Oh well, that's okay. We'll deal. We'll do another week spread and then I'll put the mid-month check-in. Usually I do that after the 15th, so I normally would put it about there, but oh well. Okay, what's the count again? I'll just use this. Making this ridiculous. Okay. Okay. Well, that's the majority of July done. So get it lined up for you. So open up to 2025 goals continued. At the end of Q2, before I actually dive into July, I'll write out some Q3 goals and any kind of any kind of journaling I want to do just for Q3. And then here's my overview. We'll see if this is useful. I don't know if it will be, but sometimes I'm like, it would be really nice to see the whole quarter kind of laid out and see where I am, because sometimes I forget, like, oh yeah, it's almost the end of the quarter, or I'm halfway through, or wherever I am, just kind of, so I can kind of, I don't know, orient myself in time where I'm at. Yeah, and then the month spread, so I can look at key dates in July, my collective nonsense page for miscellaneous things that come up and I just need a spot to dump it, my July goals page, again, doing top 3 financial, business, personal, and home goals, my tracker sheet, which I will do later. I don't even know if I'm going to continue doing it. It might just end up being another nonsense page, but we'll see. And then the first week, well, technically second week of July, because it's in the second page, but again, I've got my morning, afternoon, and evening, my little space for tracking my units. You know, obviously not everybody's going to need that. And then I have weekends on the end. Tend to have fewer to-do list items on those days. And then again for this week and then for the next week, we've got goals, my bulleted list reflections, my prompts, how did I move to my long-term goals. Again, is, you know, at the start of the year, we set these goals to focus on, and don't really circle back to them until the next year and you're like, oh, I didn't accomplish anything. So doing these things weekly prompts me to go look at my goals and be like, am I still working on this? Have I lost interest? Do I need to pivot? Or, you know, taking a minute to just reflect like, oh yeah, I am moving forward in my goals. I'm making incremental progress. 1 to 3 positive moments, so kind of reflecting on what's going well, challenges, how did I overcome them, moment to kind of think about that, and if I learned anything new. And then the weekly spread. So yeah, I'm going to continue that for the rest of July, August, September, and fill this up. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I think my neighbor just got home because their dogs are going crazy. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for today. And subscribe so that way you know. Again, I got other projects I want to work on besides my planner, but I thought it would be useful to kind of share what I do in case bullet journaling or this kind of planner layout is useful for you. Like I said, I kind of explained like the reasoning behind the things that I included in this and why they're useful for me, but if you have other spreads or techniques, let me know. I think Pinterest is a great kind of resource for bullet journal spreads if you're looking to get into it. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Bye.